The world is here. The world is here.
Hello, my name is Elvis Sequeira.
मैं हूं मलकीत सिंह।
Hi, my name is Sathak.
आप सुन रहे हैं ग्रेटर नोएडा का अपना सामुदायिक रेडियो स्टेशन सुनो शारदा 90.8 FM।
The world is here.
The world is here. The world is here. The world is here at Sharda University. Where are you?
Avijit Dutt is an Indian filmmaker, actor, theatre director and communications consultant. He earned a Master's in English Literature from the Calcutta University and joined the English faculty in St. Paul's School, Darjeeling. He eventually went from teaching literature to contributing to it and has written 6 full-length plays. He has worked as a theatre director and actor in over 100 plays in English, Hindi and Bengali. His talents as an actor have also been exhibited on the big screen. Mr. Dutt has been a part of Hollywood movies like Kama Sutra, A Tale of Love, Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, as well as Bollywood movies like Madras Cafe, Jolly LLB 2, Piku and No One Killed Jessica. His contributions are not limited to the entertainment aspect of the arts. He has been a social activist, an interventionist with seminal work in child welfare and consumer affairs. He launched Childline with UNICEF and National Human Rights Commission. His organization, Enable, of which Mr. Dutt is director and chief motivator, has undertaken several CSR-based development projects. He has filed 2 different patents in women's sanitation and healthcare, which have applicability in the rural empowerment.
Thank you ever so much for having me. It is a great honor. And instead of my carrying on guessing, I would rather react to any questions that you might have.
Yes, sir. Students today are very much interested in acting, and they really don't know the direction, how to go about it. So probably, you could guide them that what is it in you that makes you a good actor?
I don't know actually. However, all I can suggest is that it's hard work. It's not so simple. You do need to work with your voice all the time. You do need to be nimble on your feet, and you need to watch yourself. As Brecht says, to be able to watch what you're doing, the necessity of the actor. Or Hamlet says in Hamlet that masters, use your hands to cut the air. However, with cinema, we realize that that is a little different. Acting in a film shot near Kedarnath by a master director from Serbia. Film was called Devbhumi, which opened the Venice Film Festival 3 years ago. I I have a bit of a gestic language, so not as much as the Italians, but I do use my hands. He requested me. He said, sir, for this character, would you like to hold your hands down? I never used my hands in that, and most of my shots were here. So when I saw the film, I realized what a huge difference it made. And also, with the advent of television, the camera comes closer, I think, to the actor. And it's only in the mid shots and long shots, which are cinema shots, where you are a tiny part of the landscape. Except for that, most other shots, the camera is much closer. Of course, with digital medium and with a bye-bye to Kodak, practically, we can shoot at all times of the day or night with minimal lights. While doing web series now, there was something I was doing for Amazon Prime. I think it was called Inside Edge, season 2 or 3, I can't remember. We were doing a shot where I'm watching on my phone something while we are driving, and that is supposed to be a television. So what they did was they put in a little strip of light. Mr. Sood, the cinematographer, will understand that, on the seat in front of me, and then just use flickers on it, and it, in the final shot, it really looks completely like I'm watching television. It's like images playing on my face. So the medium has come a long way. It is a very young medium. It's all of just 1 century and a bit old. So it's still, I think, finding its feet. But the important thing is that everyone should realize not what makes one into an actor, but the fact that the earlier speaker was talking about content being the king, that now, because content is the king, filmmakers look for actors, which is great news. So someone sitting in Delhi could be called in to play a role by a casting director. And I have never gone meeting any director or saying, sir, I would like to be in your film. And which is not a compliment to myself, but to the times. It's just that the times have changed.
So there was also one thing that most of the aspirant, they want to have formal training, right? And without, some people feel that they are very good, like they've done school plays, they've done theaters in school, they've done theater in college. So they straight away go to Mumbai for looking for the dream role. But they keep waiting. So how would you suggest the journey should be?
You know, this movement to Bombay for trying to get into television and therefore hoping that it'll take you to films. Maybe I'm making too wide a generalization, but not my cup of tea. I would much rather that if an actor can find his feet or her feet in theatre, they will be recognized by their peer group for their acting skills and then called in to do their work. The other way, which is that you go and you hang around and you're what is known as strugglers, it's a tough life. It's a very tough life. I have seen them lining up at auditions. It's a little demeaning. However, no problem in wearing your shoe soles down in search of work. However, possibly excelling at the skill of an actor, male or female, might be the better way around. Now, how does one excel at that? You could be training, for instance, at the NSD or the Bombay Drama School or etc. There are drama schools across the country now, besides the NSD, which is calling for a 3-year degree course. There are 1-year courses. There are also quickies, which I would not recommend because I don't think ye jaldi hota hai. It's not instant coffee. Pani mila do aur bas ban gaya hota nahi. So I think nothing like developing your skill set. Just like if you want to be in communications, if you want to be a copywriter, you need to hone your skills. It's literally that. It's the same.
Sir, at Sharda University, because last year when we were doing our admissions, we had a lot of queries for courses like acting and modeling. So you'll be glad to know that from this year, MESC has helped us to devise a course in acting and modeling, which we are launching this year. And I hope that you'll be guiding our students and you'll be advising them. So over to you, Divya. Now you can take over.
Divya, before you take up, there's this gentleman by 31790. May I request him to connect with us privately? Because he has accidentally been made host and there's a lot of disturbance from his side. Anyway, please connect with us privately in chat room. Okay, sir. Now there's a very interesting question from one Charu from Speak Mackay. She is saying, "Dear sir, namaste. The concern faced by actors today is what next post-COVID. The important rule which one has to follow is social distancing now. How will the situation work for theatre and film across post-COVID for actors? I mean, how do they act with social distancing?"
Yeah. Charu, this is a matter of great concern. But may I remind you, it was 17th century in England when plague was sweeping across. And Globe Theatre had to be shut and then reopened and then shut again. And in the middle of it all, there was this playwright, director called William Shakespeare, who was developing his skills. And we do know that that was the golden period of theatre. So, on one hand, humankind finds solutions. On the other hand, yes, you have problems. You have problems of how are you supposed to come up to an actor close by and say something without having the paranoia of, am I being infected or am I infecting? A. B. What happens to audiences? As of yesterday, France has opened their cinema theaters at 50% capacity. What happens to theaters? What happens to the actors playing the role is a far greater crisis right now. I think we will need to have a certain time span where we will need to get over this fear before we get back into acting together. You can't do every play by Zoom. There is one super play which has been done on Zoom, an American play called What Is There to Talk About? Besides that, I have not seen anything on Zoom in theatre. Extremely interesting. As for spaces, I think open air theatre should be the first space, Charu, where one goes and starts working. Because there would be a greater freedom, there would be a greater sense of confidence in the audience. If that answers your question somewhat.
So it's really insightful to hear you. And I'll put another question from Momita Das. So what kind of readings you will recommend those students who wants to make his career in filmmaking?
Ooh. From Eisenstein to Satyajit Ray, don't leave anything in between. And technically search, because now you have this wonderful tool in your hands. We had to travel to libraries to find books. You don't, you just, all you got to do is do a few finger exercises and you've got the world's literature opening out for you. It is far simpler. Therefore, building up technical skills is far more difficult. We built up technical skills because we didn't have our libraries on hand like this. So when you had to go search for something, you searched for it. I wanted to learn about Kathakali acting, Kathakali style of acting for actor training exercises. So what would one do today? Oh, it's not difficult. In Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, wherever you got Kathakali centers, get onto the net, get yourself an introduction into it and you're on. I went down to Kerala. I went to Valathol's village, that is the Kalamandalam, and spent time there to learn not just mudras, not just the end result, but the process, so that I could use it for actor training methodology.
So wonderfully answered. So another question is from Payal Gupta. It's a very interesting question, and she says, which makes you a star? Your skills, your learnings, and your luck and destiny.
I'm terribly sorry, Payal, but I can't answer that since I don't know what a star is. I'm very far from that, so I wouldn't know. But I guess it helps being a star's child. I am being flippant. I don't know what a star is. I know what an actor is. I think a little, but I don't know about stars. And I don't know how they become a star.
I want to add on one line. So
I would say, sir, you're being very modest. We have watched your web series. We have watched your...
No. To be an actor is a matter of pride. To be a star is, I think, a little different. It's like, when someone comes and asks me for an autograph, I say, spare that. Save it for a star. But you want a photograph? Sure, let's do one.
There is another question, and I don't know her name, and she says, what are your take on the role of language in cinema? And is language a barrier or a boon to the star? We are living in a high diversifying language country.
I don't know your name. I've done Tamil with Mr. Rajnikant. Oof. I was terrified of the language. Tamil does not obey our sense of punctuation. Words run into each other. It is tough. It's a challenge. Right now I'm doing a Telugu film where again I'm speaking Telugu, and of course it's going to be dubbed after. But it's been a challenge. It's wonderful. I am a Bengali. और बंगाली होने के नाते वो कभी घोड़ा आती तो हाथी जाता. You get the idea. का और की के मतलब भेलपुरी बन जाती है. However, I've done a lot of roles in Hindi, also in Bengali and English. But I do have difficulty in Hindi when I'm thinking about it. If I have not really internalized the lines, I do have a problem. Sorry, if I can just add one last sentence, which is that how marvelous to have this many splendid country, to have so many languages, so many more, so many cultures, and all of it is this many splendid country of ours.
So due to the running of short time, I'm putting last question, and the question is from Parkhar Garg, and he wants to ask how to analyze the choice of public, what they want to see, and can you suggest a book for a student who want to work in mass media, but he is not from mass media? I think it's a something. So what kind of a book you want to suggest for a student for mass media? Simply, if we can say.
No, I think Partha had two parts to the question. One is that what kind of content should I do for what kind of audience? There, I think my answer would be that be true to yourself. If you want to put out something and you believe in that, go ahead and do it. I spent all my scholarship money to do my first play in Calcutta, Oedipus Rex, where I acted as Oedipus. Of course, I lost most of the money, didn't make any money in the box office, but I believed in it and I got a very good audience reaction and review. As for what is a good book for media communications, I don't know. I would always like to recommend David Ogilvy on advertising. He's extremely interesting, takes in PR, copywriting, the entire genre.
So lastly, I want to ask, what kind of activities do you suggest for an actor they have to do during the lockdown time to enhance their skills especially?
Expand your mind, read a lot, do exercises to ensure that your body is fit in a fit mind, and do voice exercises every day.
Simple, short and crisp answers, sir.
There is one very interesting question. They're saying that what kind of challenges an actor face in acting in different platforms like theater, film, or OTT. And this is interesting.
I have found in my own limited experience that OTT and film are close together, where OTT you get a little more time as a character as an actor to expound and expand your character. Film has a little lesser time. Theater, of course, you are reaching out. Can I take you through a 2.5-minute story?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. Stanislavski of Moscow Art Theatre opened a play called Idiot. Playing the role of Prince Mishkin was Smoktinevsky, a great Russian actor, who comes onto stage and he reaches and he doesn't find what he's looking for, and he reaches into the other pocket, doesn't find it, he's not worried, he reaches into the other, now he gets worried, he doesn't find it there, he looks in the other pockets, he starts getting anxious, then he looks in his inside pocket and it's not there either. So he's really bothered now. Now he reaches his hand to the back pocket, takes out this little piece of paper, reads it, folds it, puts it back in his pocket and stops. Puts it back in the top left-hand side of his jacket pocket and walks out. Every night, Moscow Art Theatre would resound with applause. Now what happened? This is communication. So in theatre, what happens is, because it is here and now, you are broadcasting as an actor. It is not that the last person and the last row can really see the face you're making. No, don't make faces, but feel it inside and it will go out. It will be broadcast.
Thank you so much, Avijit sir. It was pleasure listening to you. You are indeed a great storyteller. I'm very sure my students, my staff, my faculty, all would have been really enthralled to hear you and would really look forward to see you in person sometime in Sharda University, maybe sometime in good, after the COVID lockdown. And we would really like you to have, we like to have you here at Sharda University sometime. Great fan of yours, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
The world is here. The world is here.
Hello, my name is Elvis Sequeira.
मैं हूं मलकीत सिंह.
Hi, my name is Sarthak.
आप सुन रहे हैं ग्रेटर नोएडा का अपना सामुदायिक रेडियो स्टेशन सुनो शारदा 90.8 FM.
The world is here.
The world is here. The world is here. The world is here at Sharda University. Where are you?